looking at Intera Field in Middlebury, where tonight we'll crown Elkhart County's King of the North as Northwood visits Northridge on the 46th game of the week. How you doing, everybody? With my Hall of Fame partners, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Great to have you with us for what we think will be an exciting night of Northern Lakes Conference action. The Northwood Panthers come in with a record of 3-2, but Bob, they're just 6 points away from being undefeated. Nate Andrews is really excited about the growth of this young team.
Well, as you said early on, we were talking about the line play, and they've got to get better offensive and defensive lines, but that graduation got them again. That'll happen. But Caden Lone's doing a good job at quarterback, and I love what Ethan Evers has done as his career has developed. It gives him a good look. Ben Federuso on defense is also a quality player. This is a good team from Northwood. Don't be surprised if they get a lot better as the year goes along.
And moments ago, Nate Andrews talked about tonight's matchup.
Well, I think it's a tough NLC battle, and it started a really tough three-game stretch for us. Playing over here is always going to be a tough and physical game, and that's what we're looking for tonight, a tough physical ball game from start to finish.
Northridge started out the Chad Epley era like a house of fire. They won their first 3 games. They went to Plymouth, they won that game too, but it was a Pyrrhic victory because they lost their quarterback, Micah Hostetler. So tonight, thanks to an injury and a COVID quarantine, they're going with the third stringer. And yet Chad Epley remains positive about this team.
Well, you know, every third stringer sitting on the bench, Chuck, looks at the coach sometimes and said, I should be in there. So here you are, son, take the ball and play with it. But they're going to have to be a little bit careful. They're concerned about maybe some penalties on the cadence, that kind of thing. Got to be careful. But this is a team that has a number of good athletes. Tag God is outstanding offensively and defensively. And I think when you look at Ridge Howard, he's a quality defender as well. This is a good team. They got used to winning early. They got to find a way to get back there.
And Chad Epley admits that the rest of his players will have to step up with a rookie quarterback in the lineup.
They stepped up in a huge way. We got some big guys on the offensive line that kind of help him out and tell him where to go and kind of if we need to check anything and stuff like that. And then Tag Gott back there, running back, helps him out, kind of know, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be and stuff like that. So it's been really good for us.
Miles an hour.
Bo Hunt, not so disappointed to be back on the sidelines with this weather tonight. And I mentioned on social media this week, this used to be like the rivalry between a hammer and a nail because Northwood completely dominated it. It hasn't been that way lately, and now it's a rivalry that not only has regular season but postseason implications.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, when you're talking about rivalry and they're in conference, that's one thing. I mean, you're battling for the conference, but then you got to also prepare for a sectional battle against one of the toughest 4A sectionals around as well. I think that's one of the biggest things. So you go into this game, you try to prepare for this game alone, not think about that sectional game, but that is in the back of your mind as well.
The winner definitely gets bragging rights, and around these parts, that means an awful lot. We've got the Jordan Automotive Keys to win next on the 46th game of the week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by TCU, Jordan Automotive Group, Bill's Heating, Intera Credit Union, Crown Trophy, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, St. Andrews Products, and the IHSAA.
And this edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. It's simple, easy, and stress-free. Welcome, everybody, to the Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church pregame show as we get you ready for Northwood at Northridge in this Elkhart County rivalry and also a Northern Lakes Conference rivalry as the Northwood Panthers get ready to enter the field led by their head coach, Nate Andrews. Let's talk about the keys to win brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. And they are led literally out of the tunnel by their quarterback, Caden Lone, 5'11", 172 pounds, and a junior. Lone has thrown for 848 yards and 7 touchdowns this season, but he's also the leading rusher on the team with 327 yards in that category. The number 2 rusher on the team is Ethan Evers, the big, solidly built junior running back. 219 pounds rushing and a couple of touchdowns, but he's also the leading tackler for the Black Crunch defense. The keys to win for Nate Andrews and the Panthers.
Well, they got to be mentally and physically tough enough to take on Northridge tonight. They got to play with that Panther pride that they're so proud of. They got to win the kicking game. It really could come down to a special team score tonight. And they got to find a balance. They got to show the throw and let it set up the run for this team. Nate Andrews, in his 15th season as a head coach, a record of 164.
Meanwhile, the Northridge Raiders getting ready to come out of the tunnel right there by their locker room. The kids all lined up for the youth football leagues tonight, ready to cheer for their heroes. And Northridge is led by a couple of talented skill players. Tag got the transfer from Schoolcraft, actually played his freshman year here at Northridge, went to Schoolcraft, came back, and he is the top rusher of this team right now with 318 yards on the season and also a very talented linebacker. And you've also got another two-way player in Clint Walker, the top receiver on the team with 15 catches for 123 yards. The 6'3", 215-pounder will lay a lick on you on the sidelines as an outside linebacker. The keys to win for first-year coach Chad Epley and the Raiders.
Well, they've got a young quarterback. They have to eliminate penalties, and they could be a little bit vulnerable with some cadence issues, but hopefully they can get through that. They got to create turnovers. That means they got to have picks. They also got to put on a lot of pressure and get after the football, and they got to finish their drives. Time and yards have to equal points in this matchup tonight. Chad Epley, 4-1 in his first season with the Northridge Raiders.
And the Raiders coming out of the tunnel off to our left, carrying the American flag, and you'll hear quite the roar go up from this team as they come through the tunnel here in just a moment. The crowd here at Antera Field coming to their feet. They wait for the announcement from the PA announcer and things to happen. And while we're waiting, we'll give you the series history for this one because it dates back to 1979 with Northwood leading it 43-6. However, over the last 10 years, it's an even split at 5-5. And last year, Northridge won a very defensive-minded struggle by a count of 7-0. You can see the anticipation of the Raiders as they wait for the go-ahead, and here they come. A glorious Friday night in northern Indiana. It is Chamber of Commerce weather here with a temperature of 69 degrees. A little more than a gentle zephyr, especially down there on the field. It's coming out of the southwest at 12 miles an hour. We were speculating before the game, field goals will likely only be tried one way tonight. And there is not a chance of rain because there's not a cloud in the northern Indiana sky tonight.
A little different than just a night ago, that's for sure. Jack, let's take a chance or an opportunity now to talk about the uniforms for tonight. Brought to you by St. Andrews Products. They bring you a check on the uniforms. And for Northridge Raiders, the home team, they're in gray jerseys with black numbers. And they're in gray pants. And their helmets are black with the gold number on one side and their logo on the other. For the visiting team, the Northwood Panthers, white pants with black and red trim, white jerseys with black and red numbers, and they also are wearing black helmets, and they have a red Panther logo on the side of those helmets. And folks, these teams are looking good, and so can your team. St. Andrews Products has the finest apparel as well as promotional products. Reach us at sales@standrewscorp.com.
By the way, our weather tonight was brought to us by our friends at Snyder Promotions, and we appreciate their sponsorship as you look at Mr. 100, Nate Andrews, who won his 100th career game last week. Fist bumping, and you know, he's just got a little ways to go because he's a good coach, and so is his daddy, the late Jim Andrews. Won 150 games at Northwood. Nate, of his 100 wins as a head coach, 60 of them has come as the boss of the Panthers. Definitely a football family. We take a look at our officials for tonight's game. James Dolniak and Jay Squibb are the odd men out because then it goes Metcalf. Ryan, Darren, and Jason all working. And as always, Bob, we put out the reminder there is a need for more officials. There's going to be a game next Saturday night between Elkhart and South Bend Adams. Why are they playing on a Saturday night? Because there weren't enough officials to go around on a Friday night.
Well, and that's getting to be the problem around the state. So, boy, if you've ever thought about joining the officials ranks and having some fun, making a few bucks and staying in shape, that's a good way to do it.
And it's not just in football. They need them in all kinds of different sports, too.
Yeah, you know, you could be a volleyball official. It's inside.
Don't have to move.
Don't have to move much. By the way, the Northwood Panthers have won the toss and deferred. They will kick off and defend the goal to the south here, so they'll have the wind at their back to begin the ball game. And so Northridge will be going from left to right on your TV screen. And, well, we're just looking forward to a great matchup. As I said, there's a lot of history here, and especially the last 10 years where it's been even-steven between these two programs. Tom Wogelman did a good job here. And, boy, it's just exciting to see what Nate Andrews has done and the direction that they're moving in. So we're excited about the game tonight, and it's good to be back alongside partner. And, well, I guess they're going to have a little delay here before they get started and talking it over.
It can't be because of the heat.
No.
Because it's perfect outside tonight, as we outlined in our weather forecast. As you see Nate Andrews talking to his special teams, his kicker there, Dominic DeFreitas. Interesting story about him. He is the leading scorer on the soccer team as well. His father was an exchange student at Northwood High School years ago from Brazil. Had only played soccer in his life, but both of his sons have been kickers for the football team.
And doing a good job as well. So we're just about ready to get it started. And here to call tonight's action, this big Northern Lakes Conference clash, my partner, our WHME Sports Director, Chuck Freeby.
So DeFreitas gets ready to put toe to leather. Northridge with two men back deep, standing at their 2-yard line. And we are underway for high school football on a Friday night. It's a touchback that drives Northridge into the end zone, so the Raiders will start it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Excuse me, 20, yes, the 20-yard line. The officials started walking to the 25. We see enough college football during the week. Sometimes you get lulled into that false sense of thought, but it's 1st and 10 from the 20 as you take a look at that Northridge offense getting ready to take the field with Connor Roth, number 9, at quarterback, 6'3", 185-pound sophomore. He played last week, his first start against Warsaw, and went 11 of 21 with 1 interception for 132 yards. Northwood will show a lot of different fronts to Roth tonight, who runs out of the eye. And Roth taking his time to survey things at the line of scrimmage. Northwood showing blitz on the outside. Fumble snap, it's still loose, and I think Tag got on the football right around the 22-yard line, so a pickup of 2 on the play. This was a problem. The center quarterback exchange at practice on Wednesday, and it rears its ugly head already as we meet the starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll do it after this second down play. Again, Northwood showing blitz. Tag got on the handoff, ran right by the blitzer, but the linebacker, Ethan Evers, brings him down at the line of scrimmage. Let's meet the Northridge offense with Roth at quarterback. Got in the backfield behind Big Peyton Shook. Talented receiving core. We told you about Walker, but don't forget about Jethro Hostetler. The offensive line with returning starters Julian Caudle and Big Evan Carr, 6'5", 260. He's wearing a glove on his hand tonight to cover a broken pinky. It's 3rd and 8. Roth handles the snap, throws high, but has his receiver for a first down as he got it to Cade Signs for his 5th catch of the year. And it's a first down for the Raiders as you meet the Northwood defense. Caleb Branham having a fine year at defensive end up front. Ethan Evers, the leading tackler on the team. Ben Fatarusso has been a veteran. You take a look in that secondary. J.J. Payne, the leader back there with 19 tackles on the year, the 6'4" junior. 1st and 10 for the Raiders after a nice pass from Roth to Signs. Roth from the pistol. Hands it off to Peyton Shook, and Shook dives forward to the 36-yard line. That is a big load to handle. 6'2", 215-pound fullback runs it up the gut for 5.
Nice job, and got some good splits going down there in that offensive line for Northridge, creating some opportunities.
Take a look at that Northridge sideline signaling the plays in. There you take a look at Tag Gott, who will line up just to the right of Connor Roth. Shook also in the backfield. And again, Northwood showing a blitz. It's Shook, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Beautiful play by the Northwood defense as Parker Philly came in to make the hit. The 6'2", 193-pound junior gets Shook right there around the shoulders and bulldogs him down. So early on, Northwood showing a lot of aggressiveness at the line of scrimmage.
And Northridge has had a couple of opportunities. You know, they had nearly a turnover on the first snap, but they did find a way to get that first down. They need about the same thing right here, about 7 yards, and we'll see if Northwood doesn't sit back a little bit more in pass defense.
Well, we have a flag and a personal foul called against Northridge, and that'll mark it back 15 yards from the spot of the infraction. So the ball's going to go all the way back to the 19-yard line. And let's see if it's still third down. I believe it is. So this personal foul happened after the play. So the personal foul on Northridge happened after the play, and now it's 3rd and 21 for Chad Epley's team. Big ask for the sophomore Roth. He drops back, fires a bullet, and it's incomplete. Broken up nicely that time by Northwood's Wes Yoder. Jethro Hostetler was the intended receiver, and Yoder got in there and broke it up beautifully, as you'll see on the 46 replay.
Well thrown ball, pretty much on target, but the defense was there. Folks, Ruli's of Middlebury is proud to support Northridge Athletics. Ruli's is a family dining Italian-American restaurant offering a full menu including pastas, entrees, and pizza. Visit them at rulispizza.com or in Middlebury across from the high school. Big thank you to Ruli's. They fed our TV crew tonight. Not an easy challenge, did a great job, and they say go Northridge Raiders.
Connor Roth with a 28-yard punt. It's down in Northridge territory, so Nate Andrews will send his offense out there in plus territory with 9:02 to go first quarter from the Northridge 48. And that's where the kicking game that Nate talked about before the game, Bob, comes through big here for Northwood.
Well, and you think about that first decision they made was to defer and take the wind at their back. And the first possession for Northridge pins them back, and now they're going to give up the ball inside of midfield.
Junior Caden Lone brings out the Northwood Panthers on offense. 848 passing yards, 327 rushing yards. Lone had a terrific week against Wawasee last week, over 200 passing, over 100 rushing. And Lone takes the low snap, looks to throw, airs it out on the sidelines, and it's broken up out there. Terrific defensive play by Northridge as Cade Signs came over to knock the ball away from the intended receiver. You get another look on the 46 replay. They were looking for Nitarian Tuggle, but Signs was there to break it up.
Ball's right on target, well thrown. You know, they used to say, partner, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Now it's 3 yards in a cloud of rubber pellets, but he was kicking them up there pretty good on the sideline.
2nd and 10. Ethan Evers, the lone back behind Lone, but it's Lone airing it out again. He wants Tuggle, and this time the catch is made. Tuggle makes the grab down at the 21-yard line. They run a beautiful little fade pattern to the back shoulder here, and Tuggle is able to make the Willie Mays style over-the-shoulder catch and control it. As he makes the grab, a 27-yard pickup and a first down for Northwood. Panthers going with an up-tempo offense. Lone wants to throw, this time runs out of time. Trent Jensen takes him down. Tag got to him first, and then Jensen. And we'll meet that Northridge defense now, as Eric Jennings and Trent Jensen help man the defensive line. Ridge Howard, the leading tackler on this team with 35. The secondary, as you see, is getting tested tonight. Cade Signs, the top man back there at cornerback. It's 2nd and 18. And whistles blown and flags thrown. There was a little bit of flinching going on in that Northwood backfield. The false start will cost him 5 and will meet the Northwood offense. We told you all about Caden Lone and Ethan Evers, but they've got other weapons too, including Parker Philly with 12 catches and J.J. Payne with 10. Tuggle, the leading receiver, with 15. It's an offensive line that gets a lot of tests, but Brevin Miller is a 3-year starter trying to anchor that group up front. A reminder, our first quarter tonight is brought to us by our friends at Stutzman Power Equipment.
A little bit of a sloppy start for both teams, Chuck. Penalties early, a big sack there in favor of Northridge.
2nd and 23. Lone on a play action, airs it out. He wants his man. He's got it. It's J.J. Payne. Touchdown, Northwood. A 34-yard scoring strike from Lone to Payne. And Northwood is on the board. It's sponsored by Heine's Back Barn. You get another look on the 46 replay. And Lone delivers a strike. Payne was able to outrace the Northridge defender, Matt Rutledge.
What a well-thrown ball.
Dominic DeFreitas on to try the extra point. He's 10 of 12 on PATs this year. The snap is good. The kick is on its way, and it is good. 7:51 to go in the first quarter. Northwood comes out with an aerial assault, and J.J. Payne causes some for Northridge. It's 7-0 Panthers on 46.
Northwood 7, Northridge 0.
And this edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you by Interra Credit Union. We get it, and we've got it. Nate Andrews, the 15th year as a head coach, his 8th at Northwood, fired up for his young Panther team. They come out slinging the football, Bob.
Well, they got that ball. Now, it wasn't a turnover where they got the ball, just a short punt, but it put them in a position where a coach likes to come back, sting you right away. That drive took just a minute 11 seconds. They went 48 yards in 4 plays for the big 34-yard touchdown. And it's 7-0.
Jethro Hostetler back deep, but he could get all the way back into Bristol and not be able to return that one because it's a touchback. DeFreitas, a weapon for this Northwood team.
And still with 7:51 to go first quarter, they're going to have the wind at their back for the rest of the quarter, obviously. And then you think about later in the game, the wind's probably going to die down as the evening goes along. It was a gentle zephyr. Well, it wasn't really a gentle zephyr, but it was hitting 19 miles an hour at times, but pretty steady at 12 when we started.
Let me see. I've got my spare AMS seal to give you here for all this meteorology that we're getting.
Yeah.
So Connor Roth comes out at quarterback for Northridge. Roth getting the start last week, but he didn't find out until Wednesday that he was going to be the starter. This week he had the full week to work with the Raiders, and let's see if that makes a difference tonight. Roth running a little bit of option, and Ethan Evers will have none of it as he buries him back at the 13-yard line. It is not a good idea to leave that young man unblocked because he is a young man. 6'1", 201, and Connor Roth, I can only imagine how wide the eyes were when he saw Ethan Evers.
Not really a sack. They're kind of running an option look, a little run pass option, but boy, Evers was there in a hurry and I might say in a bad mood.
For Evers, that's his 11th tackle for loss this season. 2nd and 15. Roth delivers. It's intercepted. Ethan Evers down at the 4. Evers with his first interception of the year. He read the eyes of the young quarterback who never took his eyes off the receiver, and Evers made him pay. You get another look on the 46 replay. The ball was tipped in the air, and then Evers was able to make the interception, and you'll get another look at it here. Roth looked at his receiver the entire time and then delivered it too high for Tag Gott. So a short field here for Northwood. 1st and goal from the 5. And let's see if Evers gets rewarded for his efforts on defense here on offense. Lone instead will roll out. Still looking. Now he's going to tuck it under, lower the shoulder, and he gets knocked down at the 3-yard line. A swarming group of green jerseys that time, led by Jethro Hostetler. Peyton Shook and Ridge Howard were all there too.
Gain of a couple. Chuck, you know, the problems that Northridge is having on offense, you saw during practice this week, there could be a little bit of a remedy to that. We'll talk more about it when they get the ball back.
2nd and goal from the 3.5. Lone again. And a low snap at a offside is the signal given by the side judge. And that signal's typically on the defense. And it is.
Half the distance from the 3.
Chad Epley talked this week about how they had to reduce penalties. Well, they had a huge personal foul on the first offensive drive, and now a big offside penalty here to help Northwood get a little bit closer. 2nd and goal from the 2.
What's a straight line to the end zone? Would that be a good idea?
4 feet between the Panthers and the end zone, and Ethan Evers will cover that easily. Ethan Evers with the touchdown. It's sponsored by Heine's Back Barn, his 3rd TD of the year, and quickly it's 13-0 Northwood. The Panthers coming out on fire. Evers got great blocking up front by Montana Green, who kept his man open, and Brevin Miller pushed his the other way. That opened the hole. So Evers gets the interception, then the touchdown to Freitas with the extra point. 14-0 Northwood will get one more look at this Panther touchdown. And from the goal line, you saw the surge of those white jerseys. They had basically pushed the Northridge defensive line back behind the goal line.
Yeah, and I don't really think it was a bad call to roll out and try to get a good opportunity for your quarterback. Maybe he can build a little confidence there. He did a good job, tucked it in and got a couple, but you come right back and you run the ball up the middle with a guy like Evers. Boy, that's a tough assignment.
Connor Roth disappointed on that sideline. A lot of joy on the Northwood sideline because, well, Northridge does not give up 14 points very often. In fact, coming into this game, they were one of the area's top scoring defenses. The Raiders were only giving up 10 points a game coming in. They've seen Northwood exceed that here in the first quarter. Tippy Valley leading the way defensively, followed by Mishawaka, Jimtown, and LaVille.
28 seconds on that last drive. They went 5 yards in 2 plays.
After this kickoff from Dominic DeFreitas, we'll go down to the sideline for Bo Hunt's Bill Heating sideline report. As that goes to the end zone, Bo, what do you have down there?
Well, that last play on that interception, Connor Roth came off the field. He was holding his thumb like he jammed his thumb, and it doesn't look like he's going to go back out. We'll see right here. I saw Tag Gott actually taking some snaps over here, so we'll see very quickly whether or not they're going to be on their 4th-string quarterback, guys.
Well, Tag Gott was a quarterback as a freshman here at Northridge, and they ran him out of the Wildcat on a couple of plays last week against Warsaw and worked him extensively in Wildcat formations this week for Northridge because they knew Connor Roth was their only healthy quarterback coming in tonight. They had to have some alternative. The alternative is the junior number 24, Tag Gott.
Well, the one sure way to get him the football is to snap it to him. And so don't be surprised if they don't use a lot of run-pass option and see if they can get Gott on the outside.
Now, the question this week for Tag Gott is he had a heavily bandaged throwing hand, and he was having problems throwing the football in practice, but he said that he probably wouldn't wear that brace on game night. Here's Gott from the Wildcat, takes the direct snap and takes it up to the 27-yard line. That's a pickup of 7 for the 195-pound junior. Gott had a big game running the football in Northridge's win over Wawasee, where he ran for 119 yards in that Raider victory.
A couple of goals right here. One is to move the football, get some first downs, but give that defense a chance to catch their breath. They've been on the field the first 6 minutes of the game.
Of course, a lot of these guys on offense are the guys on defense. It's Gott again up the middle, and he has the first down up to the 31-yard line. So pick up a 4 that time for Tag Gott. And now they're really going to put the onus on this big offensive line in front of Gott. You've got Logan Bickle, the setter. He's only 190 pounds. But the guards are Trent Jensen, 270, and Julian Caudle, 220. And the tackles are Wyatt Bowles, 230, and Evan Carr, 260. So they're going to be asked to deliver here tonight. Outside linebackers coming in strong. Gott throws, and it's a little too hard for the intended receiver. Looked like he was trying to hit Clint Walker on that one. Gott has tried a couple of pass attempts this year and has yet to have a completion.
He's 0 for 1. Chuck, you know, during the week, you got a youngster going to go in there as a starting quarterback. You got to have a backup. So I'm sure Gott took some snaps.
Well, he took quite a few, yeah.
Yep.
2nd and 10. And it's Gott again, running up the middle, picking up a couple of yards before he's brought down. Looked like Caleb Branham with help from Jesse Wilson that time. Wilson bringing him down, the 5'7" junior.
5 carries so far for Gott.
It's 3rd and 8. The Northridge passing game was stellar with Micah Hostetler at quarterback, but now we'll see what Gott can deliver here in what would appear to be a passing situation. Again, Northwood showing blitz, and here they come, and they didn't quite get him. Gott got away from one man, just couldn't get away from the whole defense. Brevin Miller wraps him up behind the line of scrimmage at the 31-yard line, and it'll be a punting situation for Northridge.
2nd sack of the night, plus an interception, so pretty auspicious beginning for Northwood tonight.
Gott was able to get away from Parker Philly, but Miller was waiting for him at the doorstep. Now we'll see what kind of pooch kicking Tag Gott is capable of, because the quarterback in Chad Epley's system handles the punting. And Gott gets a beauty off. Tuggle backs up to his 34. Tuggle still on his feet up to the 42-yard line before he's met rather firmly by Northridge. But still good field position for the Northwood Panthers, who already have a 14-0 lead in this one. It was Jaden Medina who made the stop on special teams.
Folks, you can meet, shop, and eat at Campus Commons in Napanee. Visit for a collection of specialty shops and eateries. Watch artisans work, hunt for treasures in the antique mall, meet a friend for lunch, and shop for a variety of foods and thoughtful gifts. That's at Campus Commons in Napanee.
So 1st and 10 for Northwood, already leading 14-0 in this one. And this will certainly be a score that sends some ripples throughout the Northern Lakes Conference tonight. Caden Lone has been good throwing the football tonight. Ethan Evers wished he would have at that time because it's a loss of 3 on the play. The Northridge defense got there in a hurry that time. Terrific pursuit that time for Northridge. And it's Matt Peterstein who makes the stop. 2nd and 13. Long look over the sidelines by Lone. Certainly a passing situation here. Lone looking to throw, looked at Fado Russo, now airing it out for J.J. Payne. Payne makes the grab despite defensive pass interference. Payne will make the grab at the 25. That is a 36-yard pickup for J.J. Payne, who has hit a couple of home runs here tonight. Nate Andrews had glowing praise for this young man this week at practice, and you can start to see why.
Boy, that ball was well thrown again, right on the target.
36-yard pickup on the play, as you'll get another look on the 46 Sports replay. Payne was able to overcome the pass interference as he got by Matt Rutledge. Rutledge grabbing at him right there. That's what caused the flag, but Payne got both hands up there and made the grab.
97 yards passing already in this first quarter for the Northwood Panthers.
Lone hands it off. Ethan Evers trying to sidestep tacklers, nothing doing. Ridge Howard gets in to make the stop along with Peyton Shook. That 1-2 punch on the Northridge defense, very formidable at the linebacker position. It's 2nd and 11. Northwood wasting little time with Northridge on the ropes. Booney Booker changing plays. Lone fires and has his man. That's Parker Philly. Philly escapes tacklers. Philly to the end zone. Touchdown, Northwood. Parker Philly, who has made a name for himself at Northwood with the ability to break tackles, does it again right here to pick up his 2nd touchdown of the season. You get another look. 4 Raiders had their hands on him. None of them could bring down the 6'2", 193-pound junior.
Good time for the quarterback, too. I tell you, that offensive line is doing a good job, and they're moving him a little bit, buying a little bit more time. He was open. The receiver made a great catch and then really worked hard to get in the end zone.
DeFreitas with his 3rd extra point of the first quarter. It's 21-0. The touchdown sponsored by Heine's Back Barn. You get a look from field level. And just poor tackling by Northridge. There's no way to get around it except for Parker Philly, who did. So a 21-0 Northwood lead. 2 touchdown passes from Caden Lone. And the Panthers have had the benefit of using the wind to their advantage, putting the ball into the end zone, pinning Northridge deep, and then benefiting from field position to make great things happen.
It's been a combination of all those, Chuck, and they've done a good job, and really impressed with the tempo that they've had going, but also the willingness to air it out. I think there's a weakness out there. Not so much a weakness for Northridge, but a positive for them. They've got some great receivers.
And I think you're starting to see that this Northwood team, first of all, getting better and better each week. And secondly, that 3-2 record, that's foolish to look at that. Look more at the fact that they're 6 points away from being undefeated.
Yeah,
and I think you'll have a better look at this team.
Right, they lost to Logansport, who's ranked and undefeated. They lost to Concord
by a school.
Yeah, and they lost in overtime to them. So it's been really a solid start for Northwood, but you look at wins and losses, they got a chance to put a big number up here tonight.
DeFreitas drills another one into the end zone. 4 touchbacks so far for Dominic DeFreitas. And Northridge will once again have to take it 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line.
Well, they need to, again, move the ball, get some rest for their defense. Folks, Middlebury Community Schools is where achievement and innovation are hallmarks of a great education. Middlebury Community Schools.
Connor Roth coming back in at quarterback for Northridge. So a little time on the sidelines. Hopefully his thumb is okay as you look at first-year coach Chad Epley, a Wawasee grad. Went to University of Indianapolis, only 26 years old. Looking on to see if his sophomore can grow up before his very eyes here with a 21-point deficit. He'll hand it off to Tag Gott. That proves to be a fruitful endeavor as he picks up 4 yards on the play.
I might have seen a flag come in there late, Chuck.
Yep, you did. Face mask on Northwood. That'll help out Northridge. Pass along the score from Jake Field. Concord with a 14-8 lead on Mishawaka. That game about a minute into the second quarter. And so the 5-yard face mask penalty will set us up for a 2nd and 1.
Unintentional. Got his hand on it, but didn't pull on it.
Also tonight, Wawasee leads Plymouth 7-6. That's in the second quarter. And Warsaw with a 7-0 lead at Goshen in the second. Here's Roth firing. Nice to Clint Walker. Walker with some room to run. Walker all the way up to the 24-yard line. It's a pickup of 47 on the play. And you get another look. Roth delivered a bullet that time. Only the tackle of Wes Yoder saved a touchdown for Northwood.
Well executed play, good timing, and there was pressure. Again, Northridge is able to put some pressure on.
1st and 10 from the 24. Again, Northwood showing blitz. Roth hands it off. That's tag Gott, and Gott keeps those strong wrestler legs moving, and another flag comes in late after the pickup of 7. So let's see what the flag's all about. It's another face mask on Northwood. That'll be a 1st down for Northridge. It's a 5-yarder. It'll take it down to the 12 and 1st and 10 from there, as you'll get another look on the 46 replay.
Well, you don't ever want to help the other team, but a couple of hands where they shouldn't be. They're not in the cookie jar, but they're on somebody's face mask.
Evers just got it underneath the chin, just a little bit right there. So 1st and 10 for Northridge from the Northwood 12. Ridge Howard in the backfield now, next to Connor Roth. And Roth will give it to the big man Howard. He's brought down after a pickup of 1. Ben Fatarusso got him down around the ankles that time. Fatarusso, 3-sport athlete at Northwood, as he's also a wrestler and a member of the track team. 2nd and 9. We go under a minute to go on the Intera Credit Union scoreboard here at Intera Field.
It's not a bad idea, putting that big guy in the backfield. He's a very strong young man.
Roth will scramble, and Roth gets taken down at about the 8-yard line by Ethan Evers. And that's where you could tell a little bit of hesitancy from the sophomore that time. Let's see if Northridge tries to get one more play off here before the quarter, or we'll let the clock expire. I think Chad Epley just wants to let the clock tick down as the first quarter comes to an end here at Intera Field. A first quarter that was completely dominated by the Northwood Panthers. First they hit J.J. Payne with a 34-yard strike. Then Ethan Evers took it in, and then one more touchdown, this one to Parker Philly. 21-0 Northwood at the end of 1 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. Bo Hunt comfortable down on the sidelines tonight on this beautiful night for football. He joins us now with the Bill's Heating sideline report. Northwood better than advertised, Bo.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we heard about their speed, wasn't sure what it was going to be, but their speed is a factor in this game. They're flying to the ball on defense, and offensively, they've got the weapons on the outside with the size and the speed as well, and Cade Lone's the real deal, guys.
Huge sequence here for Northridge as they face a 3rd and 7 from the Panther 9-yard line. And while Northridge has a good field goal kicker in Dylan Ritchie, when you're down by 21, you're not looking for field goals right now. 3 receivers to the right of Connor Roth. And Roth looks that way, lobbing it up on the fade pattern. Cade Signs couldn't get there. It was overthrown. It'll be 4th down.
Well, it was a tough route to throw, especially for a young quarterback. Experienced quarterback might have a better chance, but...
So Roth looks over to the sideline to get the play as it's signaled in by the Northridge coaches. 4th and 9, early second quarter. Huge play here for Northridge. Got the tail of the tandem in the eye. They can get a 1st down at the 2. It's 4th and 7. Play action. Roth looking, pumps, and it's sacked. Roth is sacked by Caleb Branham in the backfield. And Northwood will take over on downs back at the 13-yard line. You get another look on the 46 replay. And Branham came over to finish him off. A good defensive stand there by Northwood. And the Panthers will have their worst field position tonight, but they still have the shutout.
And they've got the ball with a chance to run some clock. They've only run for a couple of yards here in the first quarter. They've thrown for 112 with 3 touchdowns. But let's see if they don't try to establish maybe a little bit more balance and run some clock.
By the way, our second quarter being brought to us by our friends at Stutzman Power Equipment. And we want to thank Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates for sponsoring our Facebook live stream tonight. Thanks, Lori. 1st and 10, Caden Lone. Flags thrown and whistles blown as this play gets underway. It's a false start on Northwood.
Boy, those are the pesky little penalties. That's 4th penalty for 20 yards, but that's one of the reasons your coach gets gray hair.
Chad Epley not old enough to have it yet, but he will if he stays in the profession. Nate Andrews has been in it for 15 years, and you can start to see the gray seeping in on Nathaniel.
I said, how are things going? He says, family's fine. Well, that's a good thing.
So 1st and goal, or excuse me, 1st and 15 here from back near the goal at the 8-yard line. Lone will keep it himself on the option. Now pitches to Ethan Evers, but he had nowhere to run by that time. Evers run out of bounds at the 9-yard line, a pickup of 1 on the play. You mentioned the rushing game just hasn't been there for Northwood tonight.
No, and give credit to Northridge. You got to try to take away something. They've done a pretty good job against the run, but again, Northwood's been throwing the ball so well.
2nd and 14, as you see Nate Andrews, still the school record holder in the 300 low hurdles. Here's Lone firing off the hands of Parker Philly and incomplete. Ridge Howard had reacted just a smidge quicker. He might have had a pick 6 there.
4 out of 6 to start the ball game.
Now remember, folks, in this quarter, it's Northwood punting into the wind. Northridge with the wind at its back. We'll see how much of a factor that plays here in the stanza. First, the Raiders have to come up with a stop on 3rd and 14. Caden Lone has Wes Yoder next to him in the backfield. And it's Lone keeping it himself, and Lone's got the first down. Lone still on his feet. All the way to the 39-yard line. Caden Lone with a pickup of 30 on the play. A Northridge player is down on the field, and so is Caden Lone. Players down on the field on both sides. Here's Lone, and let's see if he just has a cramp. He was reaching for the back of his leg early on and may have pulled a hamstring.
Yeah, looks like exactly what it is. Great job by our crew to get a close-up look at that.
If you watched the NFL game last night, it's very similar to the reaction you saw from Christian McCaffrey of Carolina when he was running as well. So an injured player down on the field. It's Caden Lone, the Northwood quarterback. 11:24 to go first half. You're watching high school football on TV 46. This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you by St. Andrews Products, providing quality apparel, including to the PGA since 1989. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt down on the sidelines. Bo, it did not look good for Caden Lone as he left the field.
Yeah, guys, it didn't look good on the run either from down here. It was about 6 to 7 yards before he got brought down, and he pulled up, and I could tell right away that it was his hamstring. I give him all the credit in the world for hanging on that ball, because when that hamstring goes, man, that's all you can think about.
Owen Rader comes out throwing, and the ball is complete. It's complete to Natarian Tuggle. So the backup quarterback, Owen Rader, who was 2 of 6 on the season coming in, airs one out to Natarian Tuggle. They catch it down at the 34-yard line. That is a pickup of 27 on the play and a first down for Northwood. Rader, a long name in Northwood annals, especially in football. And Owen Rader gets knocked asunder down at the 36-yard line. It's a pickup of 3 on the play, and Nate Andrews wants to keep the tempo going against this Northridge defense. Rader, a sophomore, 5'10", 167 pounds. He did look confident during times of running the team in practice this week. Reminded by his running back to let the line know the call too. Good idea. Raiders showing blitz, and here they come. They were all over West Yoder that time, as Northridge comes in and buries Yoder, with Julian Caudle making the hit back at the 35-yard line. A loss of 4 on the play, and Yoder barely got the handoff.
Folks, Snyder Promotions, locally owned, specializing in corporate gifts and decorated apparel, pens, hats, shirts, drinkware, and calendars, offering screen printing and embroidery on all the major brands of apparel like Nike, Under Armour, Puma, Adidas, North Face, and Carhartt. Call or text Dave at Snyder Promotions for more information.
Touchdown, Northwood. It appears Tuggle in the end zone, but let's see what the flag is all about. Or is it offensive pass interference on Natarian Tuggle?
Northridge catches a break. So did I, partner.
You get another look on the 46 replay. Go ahead and tell us about Snyder Promotions.
Well, Snyder Promotions invites you to give them a call for more information and free quotes. That number is 574-536-6588.
So Tuggle called for the push-off on offense, and instead of another Northwood touchdown, this is going to wind up being a 15-yard penalty and put the Panthers all the way back at the midfield stripe. The officials talking it over, and yep, they've marched Northwood all the way back to the 50-yard line. So it's 3rd and 26.
35 yards in penalties in this first half for Northwood. That'll be a topic of discussion at halftime, I'm sure.
But how about this Owen Rader kid and his willingness to just come out and be a gunslinger right away with very little warm-up after the injury to Caden Loon.
If you count both teams starting quarterbacks being in there, the total will be their number 1 against your number 1. That'd be 2. Right now we're dealing with number 6. Four quarterbacks deep for Northridge and a couple deep now for Northwood.
Well, and it seems to be an epidemic in the Northern Lakes Conference. Mishawaka playing without Justin Fisher, Northridge without Micah Hostetler, now Northwood without Caden Loan.
Hopefully they'll be healthy and ready to go. I know Micah Hostetler's out for the season. They've got another quarterback who should be back in a couple of weeks.
Meanwhile, Owen Rader looking at a 3rd and 26. Low snap, but Rader will air it out again. They're going deep, and it's a little bit too far for his intended receiver. He was looking for Jackson Miller that time, but Miller couldn't quite haul it in. 4th down, and what you would assume would be a punting situation here for Northwood, but the punter is typically the quarterback, Caden Loan. So let's see what kind of leg Owen Rader's got on him.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving the Napanee and surrounding areas since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
Ethan Evers will handle the punting for Northwood here. Jethro Hostetler standing back at his own 30. Evers hangs one high into the Middlebury Knight. It'll take a Northwood roll and be stopped at the 11-yard line. Terrific punt by Ethan Evers of 39 yards with no return. And Northwood clinging to that 21-0 lead here with 9:12 to go first half.
Folks, whether it be for the best burger in town, the juicy steak, or slow-roasted prime rib, Heine's Back Barn in Elkhart is the place to go. The DeChone family has been serving the Michiana area for decades, and the food just gets better and better. Stop in tonight or whenever you can and say hello to Troy and the gang and enjoy a fantastic meal with great service from Heine's in Elkhart, located on Lusher Avenue.
Warsaw leads Goshen 21-0. That's in the second. Edwardsburg on top of Plainwell 28-0. The Eddies have played nothing but undefeated teams so far this season. And Concord is up 21-8 on Mishawaka. That's in the second quarter. First and 10 for Northridge, back at its 11-yard line. The handoff, the ball loose, and Northwood, I think, has it. Fumble on the play. Both teams saying they have it, but the Panthers actually do. J.J. Payne with the fumble recovery for Northwood. Take another look on the 46 Sports replay. Peyton Shook had it pried out of there. Nate Andrews said they were going to be working on turnovers this week, and Payne was able to get on the loose football for Northwood.
Well, that's 2 turnovers to go with about 3 or 4 sacks. What a performance by Northwood so far tonight.
So J.J. Payne having a great night all the way around. A couple of big home run receptions, a fumble recovery, and let's see if they try to stick the dagger in the Raiders right here with Owen Rader at quarterback. He pump fakes. He's going for the end zone. Parker Philly couldn't come up with it. It was broken up beautifully by Matt Rutledge that time. So Rutledge, who had a rough night previous to this, hangs in there, and a defensive back, no player has to have a shorter memory than him.
And nobody's had a shorter field tonight than Northwood. Boy, another turnover deep in Northridge territory. Northridge looking for anything positive that he can get going here in the first half.
So 2nd and 10 now for Owen Rader and Northwood. And we've got more flags, and I think Rader was able to use the cadence to draw Northridge offside, so it'll be 2nd and 5. In the NIC tonight, they're going to the second at School Field. Scoreless battle between Adams and New Prairie. Berrien Springs in Michigan with a 14-0 lead on Waterville. That's a battle of the unbeatens up there in the Wolverine State.
A lot of big games tonight. Bringing you up to date on scores throughout the broadcast and on our streaming update.
Rader looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Northwood. Nitro Tuggle. Natarian Tuggle with his 4th TD catch of the season. And Northwood expands the lead to 27-0. You get another look. A perfectly thrown ball by Owen Rader. Boy, oh boy, for a kid to come in off the bench cold and throw the ball the way Rader has here in the second quarter is impressive. Dominic DeFreitas on to try the extra point, sponsored by Heine's Back Barn. It is up. It is good. 8:52 to go in the first half. And this is not your grandpa's Northwood team. They like to air it out, and they do here at a Nitro Tuggle, and Nitro explodes for 6 on 46. This edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by the Indiana High School Athletic Association, partnering with TV46 for over 30 years. Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt back with you at Intera Field. It is all Northwood right now. The Panthers leading Northridge 28-0 and doing it with basically no ground game at all. It's like when you played in the backyard and somebody said El Paso.
You know, we mentioned in our keys to win that special teams really could be a factor tonight. The field position with the wind at their back to start for Northwood, and their kickers putting the ball in the end zone every time. I mean, just over the course of the game nullifies a lot of opportunities for the opposition.
And 2 huge turnovers by Northridge have not helped their cause. DeFreitas puts this one into the end zone as well for a touchback.
Folks, you can receive a quality and affordable university education by enrolling in the Bethel University Extension site at Napanee Missionary Church. BU at NMC provides an opportunity for a Bethel education while engaging in weekly practicum specific to your area of interest. Multiple degrees are available, and because the program costs just $10,000 per year, you can graduate with little or no debt. To learn more about this program, go to nmc.church/Bethel.
Chad Epley and Northridge have to feel a little bit like you're up there against a dike or a dam and there's a leak. Last week it was the running game, and they put their finger in the running game leak. And now the passing game is flooding them with another leak.
Pretty impressive. 150 57 yards passing in the first half for Northwood.
Connor Roth on play action. Hit as he throws, and it's off the hands of Wes Yoder and incomplete. Cade Sines was the intended receiver, and credit to Roth because he stood in there and took a lick, and he's holding that thumb again.
Boy, he got thumped. Very clean hit. That ball almost came back down to the receiver.
And had he caught it, he would have been off to the races. As it is, it's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Northridge with only 10 on the play clock. To be honest, the Raiders look stunned right now as to how this game has unfolded. And now a timeout called by Chad Epley because I think he senses that from his team as well. So the timeout is called, and it's sponsored by Middlebury Community Schools.
Folks, Imagineering Finishing Technologies is a proud supporter of high school sports in Michiana. They know all about teamwork as they provide components for the aerospace industry as well as medical, automotive, military, and defense. IFT is excited about the future and very proud of its past. Celebrating over 60 years of excellence at IFT, quality is a way of life.
We will go north of the border next week and check out a showdown in the Wolverine Conference. Edwardsburg is ranked number 2 in the state in Division 4. They'll get a visit from the Red Wolves of Paw Paw. Should be a fun one up at Leo Hoffman Field. Always a great environment up there. Edwardsburg, who leads Plainwell tonight, 28-0. And Paw Paw, Friday night at 11, Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports, TV 46.
Yeah, the Red Wolves are undefeated coming in tonight's action.
I think they had one loss on opening night against Three Rivers, but Matt Stevens' team, they run that wing T, Bob, and they're very good at it.
Well, they're going to need to be. Edwardsburg not only puts points on the board, but well-coached team, very strong defensively.
Yeah, if you like all the passing you're seeing tonight, probably don't tune in next week. Here on the end around, it's tag Gott, and Gott stiff arms one player and gets knocked out of bounds at the 33-yard line after a Northridge first down. Gott, a member of the wrestling team here at Northridge, as are several of his teammates on the squad. Northridge has, over the years, developed a very good wrestling program.
Gott has 28 yards rushing here in the first half. Not a great number, but it's a real good number when you compare it to the other numbers on the team.
1st and 10. They ran Gott on the jet sweep. They put him in motion again this time, but instead they hand it off to the other running back, and that's Ridge Howard. And Howard is able to carry for about 4 yards on that play. Howard, big boy, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's another one of those wrestlers. Quite the collision there.
Yeah.
As Caleb Branham got the worst of that. Actually, that wasn't Branham. That was Keegan Stats coming in and making the play from his linebacker position.
And he got 2 points for a takedown, I believe.
Roth hands it off again. More running. This time it's Ridge Howard dragging tacklers with him. Brevin Miller got the pony ride that time up to about the 43-yard line. And that'll set up a 3rd and short for Northridge. And let's face it, when things are clicking for this Northridge team, it's typically a balanced offense. But when you're running your 3rd-string quarterback out there, you need this running game to be effective.
3rd down and 1, a lot of times you'd say, well, is this a free down? Maybe to try one, but they need a 1st down. They need to run some clock here in the first half.
7:23 and counting to go before halftime. Howard took the handoff, and he did not make the 1st down. He'll be stopped short at 4th and 1, and decision time for Chad Epley and his coaching staff, and I believe they'll go for it here.
Middlebury Community Schools is a top achieving school district inspiring students to change the world. Middlebury Community Schools.
4th down and 1. And timeout called by Northridge. They want to talk about it. Their timeout is sponsored by the Middlebury Community Schools.
Once again, our sincere thanks to the wonderful team at St. Andrews Products for supplying our broadcast team With the finest in apparel, they can do the same for your team, school, or business. Promotional products, advertising specialties, business gifts, and so much more. Give them a call at 1-800-628-9922, or you can email at sales@standrewscorp.com. If you have a question, our answer is always yes.
College football doubleheader for you Saturday on Pulse FM. We've got Big Ten action at 3:30 as Illinois visits Purdue for the Boilermakers Big Ten opener. And then at night on 103.1 FM, the Indiana Hoosiers play their last non-conference game of the preseason as they get ready for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. IU and Western Kentucky at 8, Purdue and Illinois at 3:30 on Pulse FM. 4th and 1 for Northridge from its own 42-yard line, trailing 28-0. Tag got from the Wildcat, and flags thrown and whistles blown, and that's a false start on Northridge and 5 yards at the worst possible time for the Raiders.
Just the 4th penalty on Northridge tonight for a total of 17 yards.
One would think here on 4th and 6 that they would wind up punting it away. Remember, Gott can punt the ball and did once previously tonight. He'll line up in that pistol formation, and then you might see him take about 1 or 2 quick steps back. Gott, no, he's going to try to run for it, and Gott is close, but there's a late flag that comes in. That could be another face mask.
I think Gott was going to be about a half yard short.
Well, let's see what the flag is about here. It's a horse collar tackle on Northwood. That'll be 15 yards and a first down for the Raiders. And you'll get another look at it on the 46 replay, according to our production manager, Dean Korsma. Watch here as Gott finishes out, and there's the pull down from behind on the back of the uniform.
7-yard gain and a big 15-yard walk-off.
Didn't quite pick up the number of the player who did it, so we get to keep them in witness protection.
50 yards and penalties for Northwood here in the first half.
1st and 10 from the 44-yard line, and the Raider drive stays alive. Gott working from the Wildcat. Offside against Northwood. Northwood giving the Raiders a police escort right down the field here. So that would be 55 yards in penalties now against the Panthers, and I'm sure that will not bring delight to the head coach, Nate Andrews.
Suppose he'll go in there and say, in the 100 victories I've had, I've never had 55 yards of penalties in the first half.
Now a run up the middle. Ridge Howard would not be denied. He picks up the first down to the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for Northridge. Halftime at Sylvester Field. Berrien Springs leading Watervliet 14-0. Garrett with a 7-0 lead on West Noble. Halftime, Warsaw on top of Goshen 21-0. Here it's 28-0 in favor of Northwood with 6:04 and counting in the quarter. Also at Rice Field, second quarter, Elkhart leads St. Joe 34-0. Gott hands it off. And is it Howard again or Peyton Shook this time? Let's see. Last man up from the pile is Ridge Howard. So Howard, who came into the game with only 4 carries on the year, really being asked to carry the load here in the second quarter, and he's done a pretty good job of it.
Big, strong young man. And again, there's no danger of a turnover with Howard carrying the ball.
Second down, 5 yards to go.
Howard impressive at 6'2", 200 pounds.
23 yards rushing here in the first half.
That tops his season total by a lot. He had 10 yards for the year coming in. Howard this time had nowhere to go. My goodness, there were all kinds of white jerseys around him. Caleb Branham having a heck of a first half, and the junior came in on a mission that time. You'll get another look on the 46 replay. And watch Branham just come in over the top
he had a pretty good idea who's going to carry the ball.
David Thomas down low, working that time to stop Howard. Third and we'll call it 5.
That was the 4th straight handoff to Howard. Could that be a trend?
Let's see if Gott keeps it himself this time or tries to throw. Gott will throw it down the field, incomplete. Clint Walker was the intended receiver. The ball was well past him. 4th down, and Northridge, of course, will go for it here at the Northwood 27. Go ahead, Bob.
That was the 11th play of the drive. And the reason I point that out is Northwood tonight has had one drive over 4 plays. Other than that, it's been quick and in the end zone.
Concord expands the lead over Mishawaka to 31-8 in the second. Here's Roth. He fires a bullet on 4th down, and it's incomplete off the hands of Jethro Hostetler. So Connor Roth came back in, fired the pass, but it's incomplete, and Northwood will take over on downs at its own 27.
Roth 1 out of 6, 31 yards in the first half. Got 0 for 2.
So with 4:21 to go in the first half, Northwood up 28-0. The Panthers do have their backup quarterback in the game, Owen Rader, after a hamstring injury to Caden Lone in the second quarter. But the Northwood defense has been terrific tonight under the direction of Kyle Stickley and Nate Andrews. Now Booney Booker, the offensive coordinator, gets his unit ready to go out there on the field.
TCU is better banking for you, where you'll get the latest technology and you're never too far from a friendly face. Discover the TCU advantage. Become a member today at tcunet.com, federally insured by the NCUA.
Owen Rader wants to follow, and off the hands of Natarian Tuggle, who was wide open. You'll get another look on the 46 Sports replay, even though Nitro Tuggle would rather you not.
He's done a nice job tonight. Again, that ball is pretty well thrown. It looked like he was trying to maybe figure out where he's going to run or cut back at that point, but you got to catch the football.
2nd and 10. Rader. Hands off. Wes Yoder trying to get around the outside. Just had no room to run. Tag Gott is there with the tackle at the 31-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 6. Yoder has had a nice sophomore year. Came into the action with averaging almost 8 yards a carry.
Well, he's had 2 carries tonight for 0 yards and a 4-yard loss and a 4-yard gain. His running numbers aren't going to be real great for Northwood at halftime. Matter of fact, their penalty yardage is well beyond the running yards.
They have been able to sling it tonight. And on 3rd and 6, Rader again with that pump fake, trying to air it out. There's Tuggle. There's the catch. Natarian Tuggle, one man to beat. Stop and go. Tuggle on the way, all the way down to the 10. What a play by Tuggle. 59 yards and a first down for Northwood. And you get another look from the 46 replay.
Boy, you throw it up and let a guy run underneath it. Tuggle did a great job there.
Bo Bojanic with the touchdown saving tackle.
104 yards passing for Rader.
And now you got a stacked backfield here. It's Rader keeping it himself, and Owen Rader dives forward to about the 5-yard line. Pick up a 5 for Rader, and I think that might be his first carry of the season.
First carry tonight.
Owen, 5'10", 167 pounds, but man, has he come into this game with a ton of confidence. That would probably explain the purple shirt and shorts at practice. You can wear that if you're confident.
Yeah.
2nd and goal from the 5. Rader on play action, incomplete. He wanted J.J. Payne, but threw it behind him.
Yeah, I'm thinking J.J. might have run the wrong route, or at least Rader didn't think he was going to bring it inside, thought he was going to go outside. But again, that's why you give a guy playing time in this type of a situation. I know 3 or 4 teams in Northern Indiana right now like to have a guy with Rader's ability and the way he's played tonight.
By the way, at halftime, Penn leading Marion 14-0 at Tulski Field. That Penn team that we saw last week on TV 46, that might be the more real Penn team.
Well, they're certainly hoping for that out on Bitter Street Road, but a long way to go there.
3rd and goal. Wes Yoder with a long way to go. He's going to get to the end zone, and he didn't come close as Tag got and the rest of the Northridge defense came swarming over, and so it'll be 4th and goal. And let's see what Booney Booker dials up here.
Coming up at halftime, you'll meet our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. We'll have stats, highlights for you, and a special interview as well.
Nate Andrews looking on. 2 receivers to the right of Rader, Tuggle to the left. Northridge, well, you can show a blitz all you want, but you can't come across the line. That'll be half the distance to the goal line, and so 4th and goal from the 2.5. Let's see if that changes the play call for the Panthers.
5 penalties, 19 yards for Northridge. They've had a couple of those.
2nd and goal from the 2.5. Rader again looks over to the sideline to get the play. Play clock now under 10. Let's see if Northwood decides to use a timeout here. Nate Andrews needs a timeout. There's a little too much confusion. It's sponsored by the Topping Dental Group. We'll keep it here with 1:59 to go, first half.
Our thanks again to the great team at Ruli's here in Middlebury. Ruli's of Middlebury is proud to support Northridge Athletics. Ruli's is a family dining Italian-American restaurant offering a full menu including pastas, entrees, and pizza. Visit them at rulispizza.com or stop in. They're in Middlebury across from the high school. And a big thank you to their team for feeding our crew tonight. They say go Northridge Raiders. Big supporters, very active supporters of everything here in Middlebury.
Well, the Northern Lakes Conference standings may be getting a little bit of a sifting tonight. I wouldn't say a shakeup because Concord and Warsaw appear ready to stay on top and unbeaten in the league. And we very well may see those teams in the final week of the season on TV 46. The winner of this one then would vault into sole possession of 3rd place in the league if Mishawaka can't make a comeback tonight. And then the good news is Plymouth and Wawasee playing each other tonight, so one of them is going to get their first conference victory of the year.
And somebody's going to have the collar after 6 weeks, and that's tough for either one of those programs.
4th and goal from the 2 for Northwood. Trying to take a 35-0 lead in this one. Rader from the pistol. Low snap. He handled it well. He throws. Touchdown, Northwood. Parker Philly, his 2nd of the night. Maybe that's Northwood's version of the Philly special. So Philly rolls out, takes it on into the end zone for the score. And Dominic DeFreitas hoping to get the extra point here to make it 35-0 Northwood. Remember, the running clock does not come into factor until the 2nd half. Braxton Gilly, the holder. The kick is up, and it is good. 1:53 to go in the first half. And the Northwood aerial circus continues. Owen Rader's 2nd touchdown pass of the night, and Parker Philly's 2nd touchdown catch. 35-0 Panthers on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Chuck Reeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt back with you at Intera Field. Let's go down to Bo for a Bills Heating sideline report. I know it's not a shock that Northwood is winning the football game, but I don't think anybody tonight expected a blowout. And you got to be impressed, Bo, with this backup quarterback, Owen Rader, who has come in for Northwood.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things we saw when Cade Lone went down, you know, what was going to happen. And, you know, the Raider name is infamous with Northwood, of course, with his father. And, you know, I think that's one of the biggest things coming in, what to expect with this team. But the passing attack has just been there, and Raiders done a great job as well. The receivers, just the physicality that they've shown to be able to go up for balls, get them at the highest point, and then yards after catch as well, guys. The ability to get away from guys and break tackles.
Good observations, Bo. The kickoff fumbled back at the 11-yard line. Picked up. Brock Reshley trying to find some room to run. Reshley still on his feet. All the way out to the 49. So a terrific return from Brock Reshley, member of the golf team and a state qualifier for that. And I would say this return was above par.
43 yards on the return.
So they'll spot it at the 48-yard line. And Northridge has a minute 40 and one timeout left to try to move it down the field and get some points on the board before halftime. And I believe the rule is if they get points on the board here, then we don't have running clock to start the second half.
Right. I think, you know, as a coach, Chad Epley right now understands that they're in a big hole, but I think what he's looking for now is let's take each position, each young player, and see if we can find a positive, get some experience, use this to go on next week and the rest of the season. Maybe, again, continue to improve in time for the playoffs.
So some wildcat here with Tag Gott trying to get around the left side, lowers the shoulder and goes forward to the 45-yard line, and late flags come in again. Every official decided to get out the laundry there.
$35 yards rushing for Gott here in the first half.
I believe it's going to be a personal foul against Northwood for a late hit. You'll get another look here on the 46 replay. Wow. Really good block there. Gott was able to get around some tackles. And then the question is, when did the whistle blow? And there's the late hit. It's really a spear right there. And that was a pretty easy call.
8 penalties, 70 yards for Northwood.
So 15 yards from the spot of the foul. And that'll take it all the way up to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. And Northridge only used 9 seconds on the clock, and now Connor Roth back in there at quarterback. Roth handles the low snap, fires a bullet, has his man. That's Jethro Hostetler, gang tackled at the 20. Hostetler, who came into the game with 10 catches for 200 yards, 3-sport athlete, also on the baseball and basketball team, and he moves the chain here for the Raiders. 10-yard pickup on the play. Roth again looking to throw, under pressure, fires, it's incomplete. Tipped beautifully by Ben Fatarusso that time, who couldn't quite come up with the interception. Fatarusso is a junior, but he's been on the varsity since his freshman year, so it almost seems like he's been on the 5-year program.
Chuck, you've seen the way that Northwood has played tonight. And keep in mind that the 2 key players we talked about before the game were both juniors. So this is a team that's going to continue to evolve. And we've got another injured player on the field. And
it's the quarterback, Connor Roth, who is down on the field with what appears to be some sort of calf injury. So as the trainers look at him, we'll get a chance to thank another one of our sponsors.
Tag Gott warming up again. Folks, you can meet, shop, and eat at Kappas Commons in Napanee. Visit for a collection of specialty shops and eateries. Watch artisans work, hunt for treasure in the antique mall, meet a friend for lunch, shop for a variety of foods and thoughtful gifts. That's the Commons, Kappas Commons in Napanee.
Kalamazoo Loy Norix leading Buchanan 14-7 in the second up in Michigan. New Prairie has a 3-0 halftime lead on Adams at School Field.
Was that one of the Szymanski boys kicking that? I don't think so.
Wawasee, Ben Frank would be the kicker these days for New Prairie. Wawasee leading Plymouth at halftime 14-6. So Tag Gott back in the Wildcat. Clock ticking. Gott looking to throw, but rolls out and decides to run it. And Gott is close to the first down up at the 10-yard line. It looks like they'll spot him just a hair short, but we'll see. Clock still running. Under 30 seconds. Gott takes the snap, looks to throw, and it's complete to Cade Signs, and even if it's not, it's pass interference on Tuggle. So that'll stop the clock as they sort out the infraction. And it'll give Northridge the ball up at the 4-yard line, 1st and goal. Chad Epley trying to encourage his team to get up to the line of scrimmage and be ready to go because the clock will start with the official's whistle.
First down, goal for the Raiders.
On 1st and goal, it's Howard. No, it's Gott. It's Gott, and he couldn't quite make the end zone, and so Chad Epley's going to have to use his last time out here as the ball will be 2nd and goal from about the 1-yard line. With 11.9 seconds to go in the first half.
Folks, Middlebury Community Schools, where achievement and innovation are hallmarks of a great education. Middlebury Community Schools.
So Chad Epley in his first year as the Northridge head coach, a former 46 student athlete of the week. He was a 3-sport athlete at Wawasee High School. Then came here to Northridge and was the defensive coordinator under Tom Wogeman for a couple of years. Math teacher here at Northridge. Only 26 years old.
Got to be proud of his kids. I mean, they've been really torn apart by that Northwood passing offense, but they keeping their chins up, getting out there and hustling, trying to get on the scoreboard here just before halftime.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, the Southwind Flooring halftime report. We'll have our TCU Student Athletes of the Week, halftime stats and highlights, and a special feature from Intera Credit Union. 11.9 seconds to go. No timeouts left for Northridge. Gott going to try the quarterback sneak with the Bush push, but a offsides is called against Northwood, and the play was blown dead.
One more flag just for good measure.
And another penalty on Northwood. How many is that here in the half?
That'd be number 9 for 71 yards. That one only cost him a yard.
That's true. But I think you can kind of see the strategy Northridge is going with here. Everybody get in behind Tag Gott and shove away.
10 seconds to go.
Chad Epley says, well, if you blew the play dead because it was offside, 1.9 seconds shouldn't have gone off the clock. Right. So that would put it back to 11.9.
Tell you what, these guys got some laundry to do at halftime. Our officials tonight, they got to wash all those hankies. Of course, there isn't too much mud here because artificial turf is very nice. They're saying put 11 back on the clock.
11.9 is what he wants, which is where it was prior to the infraction.
Speaking of officials, we can sure use some new officials. These guys work really hard. They have a lot of pride in what they do, and if you'd like to get involved in officiating, it would be a great thing because the tradition of this game continues only if we have that participation from our area officials.
Well, there's the 11.9, and now well, they signal that Northridge has used a timeout, but Northridge doesn't have any timeouts left.
I thought maybe it was Northwood that called it.
Well, if Northwood did, they signaled the wrong way. But yes, the scoreboard took the Northwood timeout off. The Northwood timeout is sponsored by our friends at Topping Dental Group.
There have been a bunch of penalties in this first half, 14 of them to be exact.
Reminder, next Friday night, more high school football for you. We go north of the border into the Wolverine Conference and see number 2 Edwardsburg. Kevin Bartz could be looking for career win number 200 in that one.
Wow.
When they take on the Red Wolves of Papa. Friday night 11, Saturday morning at 9. Our thanks to Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates for sponsoring our live stream tonight on Facebook and YouTube. Here we go. Tag got under center. Everybody in the house knew what was happening there, and it's touchdown Northridge. But wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Offside again, called on Northwood.
Yeah, this one's going to go against Northridge. I saw a couple guys in that line moving early. Put it back at a 6-yard line.
Well, no, it's offsides against Northwood, Bob.
I say we take it to court. I thought I saw a couple guys in the green move, but might have been brought offside.
As the officials try to sort this one out.
Nobody wants to get in that locker room more than the officials right here. You know, it's not just that they've thrown flags, partner, but they had to pick them up.
Maybe we can get them one of those claws where they just... Hey, guess what's going to happen on this play, kids? Rich Howard shoving. Did Tag get in? No signal. No signal. And if Northwood held on downs, the half would come to an end. Clock runs. They say Gott did not get in. Northwood holds on downs, and it's 35-0 as they go to the locker room. What a goal line stand for the Northwood Panthers, stopping Northridge short of the end zone. Natarian Tuggle, one of 4 touchdown catches. Parker Philly had a pair. We'll go to the Southwind Flooring halftime report with Northwood up 35-0 on the 46. Game of the week.
And we welcome you back to Intera Field, where we have a chance to visit with our student athletes of the week, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com and find out how you can become a member today. Well, as always, outstanding representatives from their respective schools are with us, and we're going to get a chance to talk to Micah Hochstetler here in just a moment, but right now we're going to visit with the visiting team, and that's Noah Blaster from Northwood High School. Noah, congratulations on all you've done and all you're going to do. You've had a lot of success. Congratulations on that hard work.
Thank you.
You're getting it done in the classroom, as we said, and you're also involved in track and field and football, and that keeps you pretty busy, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. A lot of it is time management is a big thing. I usually just come home, shower, and get straight to homework.
And then you're involved with student government a little bit, and you're also a 4-H guy. Talk about the great years you've had with 4-H.
Yeah, I show pigs and do gardening in 4-H, and then this coming summer will be my 10th and last year in 4-H.
Well, you've lettered in 4-H. They give you an H? No, I think they do, but you're also got kind of a unique thing in that you're a lead singer in a kind of a rock and roll band. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we're called the Echoes. It started around 8th grade. My friends came up to me and asked, hey, do you want to sing with us in the talent show? And I said, oh, I'll give it a shot. And yeah, it turned out to be great, and people loved us, and we performed. Our big performance is the Maple Syrup Festival every year at Wakarusa.
Nice. And you're planning on going to Purdue, want to study civil engineering. So that means that you've got a lot of support. Talk about the people that mattered in your life.
I'd like to give a shout out to my mom and dad for coming to all my games. They're my biggest supporters. All my other family members that come to the games and watch it online. All my friends that cheer me on in the student section, and my girlfriend Grace.
Can't mention your girl. Well, you already did. Congratulations on all your success. Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
All right, Noah Blaster from Northridge High School. Micah Hochstetler is with us from Northridge High School. Micah, first of all, congratulations on being recognized for your work in the classroom and also in athletics. You've been very successful.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're kind of a unique guy for us to talk to. You're out with an injury this year, and you were last year as well. And a lot of intestinal fortitude to battle back from those kind of challenges, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, to be the game taken away from you like that, it's not very fun. But there's other ways you can impact the team, so I try to do that the best way I can.
You try to make it back for basketball again this year?
Oh yeah, can't wait.
All right. Talk about the other things you're involved with here. I know you're involved in a Bible study with your football teammates.
Yeah, every Wednesday night, some of the seniors, we get together and have a Bible study. It's always fun to look forward to every week, knowing we got a Bible study, and we just a great bonding time with the team.
I know you haven't picked a college, but you would like to go. You maybe play some athletics at the next level. Any place you're looking at in particular?
I'm still undecided, so yeah, but Taylor, that's where my brother went, always there, and then school in Arkansas, Harding, and then Indiana Wesleyan.
Great. Well, you should have some options. You've been very successful. Talk about the people in your life that have helped you along the way.
Definitely my parents. I mean, they've done everything for me. And then my teammates, they're the best. And girlfriend Ava, she's been great.
Well, wish you all the best in the future. Get healthy, and look forward to seeing you in basketball.
Thank you. I will get healthy.
All right. Micah Hochsteller from Northridge High School, and Noah Blosser from Northwood High School, our Student Athletes of the Week, brought to you by TCU. TCU reminds you to go online at tcunet.com. Find out how you can become a member today. We're back with halftime stats and highlights in just a moment here on the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week.
This edition of the TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Imagineering Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life. 35-0 Northwood leading Northridge at the intermission. The Northridge Marching Band out on the field entertaining the crowd here at halftime. And it's a crowd that could use some entertaining on the home side because there hasn't been a whole lot for the Raider faithful to cheer about tonight. This has been all Northwood.
It has been, and it's really been tough because of the situation with the injuries to the quarterback, and even Northwood's quarterback got injured tonight. So we're seeing a lot of backups stepping up, and I think Northridge is showing that they didn't have a whole lot of depth on the team right now. They will by the end of the season. But Northwood has had some outstanding performances. Their wide receivers are just outstanding, and they passed the ball very well in that first half.
Let's show you how it got to be this way here at Intera Field in Middlebury, because both teams came out firing. Connor Roth hitting Cade Signs for a first down, but then the defense taking over. Parker Philly with a big play there, forced a short punt. Northridge's defense got a nice play here from Tag Gott to try to keep Northwood at bay, but then Caden Lone got things warmed up, hitting J.J. Payne for a 34-yard strike. That made it 7-0 Northwood. Ethan Evers with the big defensive play of the game. The tip, the interception, return to the 5. Once he did that, they said, well, you got us this far, why not take it the rest of the way? And Evers does behind the blocking of Miller and Green. 14-0 Northwood. Lone then hit Parker Philly, who broke not one, not two, not three, but 4 Northridge tackles on the play to make it 21-0. And after Caden Lone got hurt, they didn't skip a beat because Owen Rader finds Natarian Tuggle on a beautiful dime throw there to the back corner of the end zone. Then look at Rader handle the low snap, find Parker Philly for his second touchdown of the night. 35-0 at the intermission, and the stats are as lopsided as the scoreboard.
They really are, and they could have been worse, Chuck. 277 total yards in the first half for Northwood, but they had so many short fields to go. They got the ball down inside the Northridge territory 3 times, and so they didn't have a long way to go, but they still had 277 yards, most of it passing, and they really did a good job in shutting down. Northridge had 100 total yards, 52 rushing, 48 passing. And they're doing the best they can. They got some guys in there trying to run an offense, trying to create opportunities. But the biggest number that's been in favor of Northridge tonight is the penalties for Northwood. They had 9 of them for 71 yards.
So 35-0 in favor of Northwood here at the intermission. The Northridge Raider Band still entertaining as we go back down to the field for a special presentation with Intera Credit Union. And our halftime continues with Randy Lehman from Intera Credit Union in charge of business development. He's a vice president there. And, of course, this is Intera Field. You see Intera Credit Union at the bottom of our 46 scoreboard. And what was the impetus for Intera to take such a large investment into this field at Northridge?
Yeah, so with Intera's involvement in the communities and how ingrained we are in Middlebury, this was just a wonderful opportunity to partner with them and provide such a great facility for the students and the athletes. So it was just a great opportunity for that.
You're in charge of business and development at Intera Credit Union. I imagine that encompasses a wide range of services. What kinds of things happen there?
Yeah, so with that, we're providing services not only for our consumers, when you think of like personal loans for autos and homes. We have a great business lending team with experts both on the small business side and doing loans up to $20 million. So it's another way for the credit union to be completely involved with all the communities we serve.
And it's not just about the money either. You're very active in the community, not only here in Middlebury, but all over your footprint. Big day coming up for Intera with nonprofits.
Yeah, this October we're going to be doing our Do Well to Do Good initiative. And with that, we're going to send our employees out to 20 different nonprofits throughout our lending or our footprint, which allows us to really give back to the communities in another way doing those services.
That's Randy Lehman. He's the Vice President of Business Development for Intera Credit Union. We appreciate their sponsorship of the Game of the Week and their sponsorship of this field, where second half play-by-play comes your way after this on the 46 Game of the Week. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Intera Credit Union. We get it, and we've got it. And Nate Andrews right now has a 35-0 lead as we go to the third quarter. So we go down for a Bills Heating sideline report. And I'm curious, Bo Hunt, what does Chad Epley say about his team coming out for the second half?
Well, I just plainly asked him, I go, what do you say to your kids at halftime, down 35-0? He simply said pride. He goes, I talked to him, I go, we have to have pride. We have to go out there. We have to show pride this second half. They scored 35 points. That doesn't mean that we can't score 35 points against a running clock, of course, but gotta show pride.
Yeah, really good point there for Chad Epley. And again, when things are breaking down, if you can find little victories along the way, and they almost had one there at the end of the first half, but Chuck, one of the numbers we didn't get up on the board at halftime was time of possession. 16:05 for Northridge. And the reason that there's so little time, 8:05 for Northwood, was because they had short fields. They scored quickly.
They played up tempo.
Right. And at the end of the first half there, I give even more credit to Northwood's defense for that great stop, because they'd been on the field most of the first half.
Brian Kelly has often said during his Notre Dame career that time of possession is the most overrated stat in football. There's another
shining example,
living piece of evidence for it. So 35-0 Northwood. The second half will be played with a running clock. You might say, well, what happens if Northridge scores? The second half will still be played with a running clock.
That's right.
Once the margin is 35 in the second half, there's nothing that can be done to stop it. Now, the clock does stop, I believe, on change of possession,
right,
and it stops, of course, on a touchdown, or you can call a timeout to stop the clock.
Right. And again, there's some time here for Northridge to try to put some things together, find some answers, because, you know, whether you like it or not, you got a game scheduled next week. You got to show up and be ready to play.
Third quarter is sponsored by Stutzman Power Equipment. And Andrew Janatello does the kicking for Northridge. He sends one hurtling towards the Northwood end zone. It's taken at the 13-yard line. And good special teams coverage for Northridge. Stops Northwood at the 23, and that's where Owen Rader and the Panthers will take over. As that time on the return for Northwood, Keegan Stats brought it out to the 23.
Now, Northwood fans got to be sitting there thinking about the performance of Rader in his first half. Gee, didn't we have a guy named Skylar Titus that stepped in and did a great job?
Well, here's the thing. If you're Northwood right now, yes, you want to finish this game on a strong note. You don't want to get any further injuries. But Owen Rader gives you the thought that, yes, it's not quite Caden Lone. He doesn't have the running ability of Caden Lone, but he has thrown the ball so well tonight that I don't know that you necessarily take a step down in the passing game.
And maybe you're a little more patient with Lone getting healthy.
And Rader throws one here to Parker Philly, just a little dump for about 3 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 7 from there. Philly has had himself a big night. He had 4 receptions in the games against Logansport and Concord. Good student with a 3.3 GPA.
4 out of 8 passing now for 107 yards.
2nd and 7.
That's for Raider.
Northwood will be facing Mishawaka next week. Play action, another little dump pass to Parker Philly. More room to run here. Philly with a beautiful stiff arm there, and he gets run out of bounds. Flag is thrown here at the 43-yard line, as you saw Raider kind of give a little tribute to Tim Tebow here with the jump pass. But first we'll figure out what the flags are for. It's a face mask against, personal foul face mask against Northridge. But watch Raider here. Had to get a little vertical to get it over the defender, but once he did, one thing I've been impressed about watching this Northwood team this week, Bob, is you get them into space, they've got some speed.
They do, and even when they don't have much space, they're able to catch the ball, which has been really impressive tonight.
So 15 yards and a first down into Northridge territory at the 42-yard line. 9:30 to go, third quarter. Northridge showing blitz. Raider saw it coming, it got picked up, and Raider throwing towards where the blitz came from, and J.J. Payne makes the catch. Beautiful grab down at the 17-yard line. Bo, you talked about this earlier tonight, the way the Northwood receivers battle for the football, and the feet come down beautifully here from J.J. Payne.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is just jumping at getting the ball at the highest point. They just do a great job of going up and not letting the defender get that ball, because they get it at the highest point, and they got the height advantage as well, guys.
26-yard pickup there. It's 1st and 10 at the 17. Raider on play action wound up having to keep the football and had no yardage there. That might have been a busted play. Looks like Brock Thompson, the sophomore outside linebacker, came over and made the stop that time.
6 out of 10 for Raider in the ball game. 148 yards. They got 112 to begin the ball game from Lone. He was 4 out of 6 for 112 yards.
Raider will throw again over the middle. It's Parker Philly down to the 2-yard line. A 15-yard pickup that time. And this is a beautiful little play between Raider and Philly. Nice little dump, and Philly is a big fella at 6'2", 193 pounds, and not easy to bring down. Raider, again the pass, this time off the hands of the sliding Ben Fatarusso, and he couldn't make the grab. Fatarusso trying to come on a slant that time, and Raider put it just a little bit behind him.
Snyder Promotions, locally owned and specializing in corporate gifts and decorated apparel, pens, hats, shirts, drinkware, and calendars, offering screen printing and embroidery in all major brands of apparel like Nike, Under Armour, Puma, Adidas, North Face, and Carhartt. Call or text Dave at Snyder Promotions for more information and a free quote. His number 574-536-6588.
False start against Northwood. That is, I believe, their 10th penalty of the night.
It is.
And that'll make it 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. But again, unlike in the first half with the penalties, the clock continues to run. Nate Andrews about to pick up victory number 101 in his career, his 61st at Northwood. Raider reads the blitz, fires, touchdown Northwood. It's J.J. Payne with the touchdown grab, his 2nd of the night. And you get another look on the 46 replay. Payne on a slant pattern just beat his man to the spot. And young man with great attitude, member of the student council at Northwood, gets the touchdown to make it 41-0. The snap, kick, all good, and so is Northwood tonight. With 5:57 to go in the third, the Panthers make it 42-0 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by the Jordan Auto Group. Simple, easy, stress-free.
Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been serving Napanee and the surrounding area since 1969. They're committed to what they do and are here to serve you for your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Yoder Stutzman Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, building lasting solutions.
So Northwood with a 42-0 lead now. They'll send Ethan Mestock on to do the kicking now, as Nate Andrews trying to get as many people into this game as he can right now. Northridge has Landon Troyer back deep awaiting the kick.
Got Rich Dotson on the phone. He said, are they really almost to 300 yards passing in a game? That was a that was almost a season in the old days.
Here's a high spinning kick that'll be tried to be handled by one of the up men at the 20-yard line. And thrown down is Ridge Howard. And so Howard is stopped at the 21, and we'll see what happens here now with the Northridge Raiders, their first offensive possession of the second half. By the way, Mishawaka trying to come back against Concord. It's now 31-24 at Jake Field. It was 31-8 early in the third.
A lot of big games going on tonight. Penn had a nice lead over Marion. So we'll see. We might be looking at the Kingsmen again before the season's over.
First and 10. Looks like Tank Gott is handling the duties at quarterback here. And Gott wants to throw. He's going to step up and try to throw deep, and a diving grab by Jethro Hostetler down at the 46-yard line. Well, spotted at the 47. It's a 32-yard link up between Gott and Hostetler, and a spectacular diving grab by Hostetler.
First completion of the night for Gott.
Whether he had possession or not might be a judgment call, but nobody's going to argue in a 42-0 game.
Not as long as the clock keeps rolling.
Let's see if Gott tries to air it out again. He will. Steps up, throws a dandy down the field, a little too high for the intended receiver, Cade Signs, but for a guy throwing kind of a one-stepper out there, that was a great throw by Gott.
A good strong arm. Folks, whether beef for the best burger in town, a juicy steak, or slow-roasted prime rib, Heine's Back Barn in Elkhart is the place to go. The DeChone family has been serving the Michiana area for decades, and the food just gets better and better. Stop in tonight and say hello to Troy and the gang and enjoy a fantastic meal with great service from Heine's in Elkhart, located on Lusher Avenue.
The problem with an incomplete pass and a running clock is it takes a lot of time off the clock. That's the problem if you're the offensive team trying to catch up. Second and 10. Got loose ball, fumbled. And did Northridge get back on top of it? They did. So a little problem on the exchange that time, but Tyler Gordon was able to get on the loose football and cover it up.
We talked about how Gott is such a tremendous performer on offense and defense, but Chuck, that's going to be a tired young man at the end of the night.
Yes, he will. Tag short for Taggart. He's looking, has time, fires, and it's almost intercepted by Wes Yoder and incomplete. Yoder came up trying to read the mail there and almost was able to get the pilfer.
Bought some time back there in the backfield. Of course, you know, you're looking now at Northwood. I'm sure that they're putting some younger guys in there, getting some minutes for some of their sophomores, younger players, and get them a little baptism of fire while it matters.
4th and 11 here for Northridge. Gott looks over the defense. And Gott will roll out and heave it down the field, and it's too far for Clint Walker, the intended receiver. So 4th down, and the ball changes over on downs with 1:45 and counting.
Folks, you can receive a quality and affordable university education by enrolling in the Bethel University Extension site at Napanee Missionary Church. BU at NMC provides the opportunity for Bethel education while engaging in weekly practicum specific to your area of interest. Multiple degrees are available, and because the program cost is $10,000 per year, you can graduate with little or no debt. To learn more about this great program, go to nmc.church/Bethel.
Couple of scores to pass along. Concord leading Mishawaka 31-24. That game now in the 4th quarter. Edwardsburg beat Plainwell tonight 49-0. And Winnemac wins its homecoming game over Culver by a count of 28-0. Final minute of the 3rd quarter here. Northwood with Rader firing, and he hits Tuggle on a slant pattern for about 8 yards that time. Natarian Tuggle, member of the basketball team as well, 3.5 GPA. And we have another injured player down on the field for Northridge here with 38 seconds to go in the half. That might be Trent Jensen.
292 yards passing in this ball game for Northwood.
Jensen just appeared to have the wind knocked out of him. Coach just came out on the field, so he'll probably have to leave the game for a play. But he looks none the worse for wear.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies continues to be the industry knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Our 3 Indiana locations are involved with supplying process components for aerospace giants, including the latest developments for Boeing and SpaceX. At IFT, we're like the teams in this game tonight, always working toward a great finish.
2nd and 3. Here's a handoff, and trying to go up the middle is Ethan Evers, but he's swarmed under by a host of green jerseys on what will likely be the final play of the 3rd quarter here at Intera Field, although Northwood has hustled up to the line of scrimmage. But Nate Anders telling his team, take your time. There's no need to hurry on this. You can savor the last 5 seconds of the quarter and savor a 42-0 lead. It's all happy, happy, joy, joy in Napanee and Wakarusa tonight as the Panthers lead it on 46. This edition of the TV46 High School Football Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by TCU, empowering members for 90 years. They're federally insured by the NCUA. Bo Hunt down on the field with Bill's Heating Sideline Report. Well, you've seen a lot of the teams in the Northern Lakes Conference. How do you rate the Northwood Panthers?
Well, they're kind of a little bit of a mystery compared to some of the other teams like Mishawaka. Well, no, they're the same. They got injured quarterbacks. I think that's kind of the philosophy out there right now of these Northern Lakes teams is let's have a good team, then let our quarterbacks get hurt. But no, very fast. They can get after it, and that's the biggest thing. And their defense is solid as well. I like their receivers. They got multiple receivers that can go up and get the ball. And they're not afraid to throw it either. I mean, they're going out. They're not the typical Northwood team that we've seen in the past. It's just going to, try to run it down your throat and contain some clock and run some clock off the time clock and everything. But very good team. Mishawaka, Warsaw, Concord. It's going to be up for battles. I mean, this Northridge team is very good as well. They just had an unfortunate start to this game with the injury to Connor Roth.
Owen Rader running for his life, but somehow was able to find Wes Yoder over on the sideline for the completion. And Yoder makes the catch at the 49-yard line. That'll set up 4th and 7. And kind of curious to see how Nate Andrews plays this year. I would think that he would have Rader kick it away, but maybe not. Rader draining as much clock as he possibly can. Now he backs up into a punt formation. And he'll boot it out of there. Northridge had nobody back deep. It'll roll all the way to the end zone for the touchback. And 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Northridge Raiders. Well, Well, we certainly thank Lori Sumter with Phil Hahn and Associates for sponsoring our Facebook live stream tonight. And Bob, the Middlebury Community Schools are always good to us when we come over here to Northridge.
They really are, and we appreciate their cooperation. Congratulations to Ryan Bales. He's the new athletic director here at Northridge. And Middlebury Community Schools reminds you they're a top-achieving school district inspiring students to change the world.
10.5 to go. Northridge with the ball back, trailing 42-0. Working for the Wildcat is Tag Gott. And he'll just run it straight forward here. Still on his feet as he goes forward for about 6 yards on the play. I asked him about the first name this week. I said, how did you get the name Tag? And he said, well, it's short for Taggart. My dad was at a camp and heard an inspirational speaker, and that was his first name. So the name just stuck with my dad, and that's the name he gave me.
Well, Kobe Bryant was named after a steak. That happened in Japan.
2nd and 4. Gott keeps it himself. Nice little ball fake there. Good stiff arm. Tag cuts it up the field and steps out of bounds at the 38-yard line after picking up a Raider first down. You can tell he just loves to play.
He's done a nice job tonight. He's now at 66 yards rushing, and he's thrown for another 32 yards. So he's at 100 yards total offense on a tough night.
And has played a full game on defense as well.
And he does look like he's having fun, doesn't he? That's really what it's about. Get out there with your buddies and have some fun.
1st and 10. Gott trying to serpentine, a little barrel roll right there, up to the 44-yard line. Well, at this point of the game, you might as well have some fun.
That puts him a little over 100 yards total offense here tonight.
I know the losing part and the getting blown up part, not fun, but try to make the most of every play here, and it looks like that's what Gott is doing on 2nd and 4. Gott puts Rich Howard over in the slot. Let's see if he'll air it out here with this empty backfield. Play clock down to 5. And Gott with time. Looking now, running out of time, and he'll try to run it up the field short of the first down marker at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2 from there. Mentioned Gott as a freshman was a quarterback in the Northridge system. Then he transferred up to Schoolcraft for family reasons last year. And for family reasons, transferred back to Northridge this year. And Chad Epley said, boy, are we glad we have him.
Absolutely.
Make it 3rd down, 2 to go.
So 3rd and 2. By the way, Concord has expanded its lead to 38-24 on Mishawaka. That's in the 4th quarter. Gott running right up the middle of the field, got the first down up to the 50-yard line. It's funny, the officials continue to give the stop the clock signal to move the chains, and the scoreboard operator says, I got places to go and things to do.
80 yards rushing now for Gott.
And I don't blame the officials. That's the signal you're trained to give as an official when there's a first down. You're not necessarily trained to say, okay, well, it's 42-0. We've got a running clock. That's where the scoreboard operator has to know that the job to do, and he has. On 1st and 10, Gott wants to throw. Out in the flat, he's got Clint Walker. Walker couldn't get around Natarian Tuggle. Oh, he did. And he takes it up to the 44-yard line, a pickup of 6. Walker, a member of the baseball team, captain of this team.
St. Andrews Products is celebrating over 30 years of serving corporations, high schools, and colleges, as well as the PGA Tour. We're proud to support the new American Dunes Golf Course in Grand Haven, Michigan, providing resources for the Folds of Honor mission and providing scholarships to veterans and their families. Let us help your cause. Reach us at sales@standrewscorp.com, where your expectations become our standards.
Here's a run for a first down. This time it was Ridge Howard on the carry. So Howard takes it up to the Northwood 39-yard line. And the one thing Northridge would like to do here is get some points on the board, avoid being shut out. Northwood came into this game giving up only 15 points a game. Their defense has really been the hallmark of this Northwood team all season. Tonight, it's been a total team effort for the Panthers. Scott looking to throw. Oh, did he get hit as he threw it up there? And it is caught down inside the 5. Jethro Hostetler takes it to the 3, but oh, did Tag Gott take a shot? And the fun thing is, Caleb Branham comes over and gives him a fist bump on the way back up the field. But what a play by Hostetler to haul that one in.
36 yards and a first and goal.
First and goal from the 3. Howard in the backfield next to Gott. Bad snap. Gott picked it up anyway and took it up to the 2. So
Man,
Tag Gott with a nice scoop there, Bob.
Yeah, what a nice catch by Hochstetler. The third in the line, I guess, you know.
Jethro, a 3-sport athlete. He showed the athleticism on that play.
Older brother Curtis went to Taylor University. He's been out of school now for a couple of years. He was a great athlete here at Northridge.
Gott keeps it himself. Touchdown, Northridge. Tag Gott takes it in for his 3rd TD of the year. And the Raiders get on the board. The touchdown sponsored by the Middlebury Community Schools. And Northridge will go for 2.
And why not? Good to see him score. Obviously, Northwood's got some backups in there, and great catch. They've had a couple of great catches tonight, as has Northwood. So we've seen a very entertaining game. A lot of aerial displays tonight.
On the 2-point conversion, it's Gott again to pay dirt, and that'll narrow the gap to 42-8 with 3:47 to go in the contest. A reminder, next Friday night, more high school football coming your way on TV 46 as we go into the Wolverine Conference in the state of Michigan. Edwardsburg, a 49-0 winner tonight. They are ranked number 2 in Division 4. They believe their toughest game of the year will be when the wing T offense of the Paw Paw Red Wolves come into the Leo Hoffman Field. And we'll have it for you Friday night, 11, Saturday morning, 9, on your home for high school sports, TV 46.
It's going to be fun to be up there. We've been up there for a couple of really good contests over the years. One night when I played Berrien Springs,
yeah,
I think it was like 38-32 or something.
Kevin Bartz has it going on up there. His 27th season as the Eddies head coach. And of course, they won a state championship just 3 years ago.
Got to give out a shout out to a couple people here tonight on their birthdays, 24th. One is Neil Ivey, the women's head coach at the University of Notre Dame women's basketball program. And Mary Dillon, one of my buddies, is celebrating birthday number 40. Congratulations, Mary, and happy birthday.
Now, is she aware that you are calling out her age on the air?
Yeah, we're so proud of her and all her accomplishments, and just a delightful young lady. She's so excited that she had the same birthday as Neil Ivey.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Here's a onside kick attempt by Northridge. Why not? But it's recovered well by the Northwood Panthers. Is getting on the football is Kai the Liker. And so Northwood will take over at its own 49 with 3:30 and counting in this one. Some other scores from around the area. Berrien Springs, Elliot Uzlak might be 80 years old, but it's not stopping him from winning. They're leading Watervliet tonight, 34-6. Also happy to report that South Bend, Washington has found an opponent. They will play Kokomo tomorrow at noon at School Field. Kokomo with a very talented team. That'll be a fun one for high school fans to go out and watch.
See, any other games going on at noon tomorrow?
Maybe. Wawasee on top of Plymouth, 21-12, so John Reedaboo might be picking up win number 1 of the year. Bremen leading John Glenn 21-7 in the 4th. Here, there's all kinds of running around in the backfield, but not much to show for it as Luke Miller is the ball carrier and takes it forward to the 50-yard line for a pickup of 1.
Well, I think Northwood and company would be happy to just get on the bus and get home safely to Napanee, where they can start thinking about next week and, still in contention. They're still hoping that some things can happen where they'll get a shot at maybe at least sharing the title in the Northern Lakes Conference.
I have to think the matchup between Northwood and Mishawaka next week is highly intriguing. Here's another handoff, and ball popped loose that time. The ball carrier was Josh Bond, and Bond takes it up to the 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 8 as we go under 2 minutes to go in this one.
I haven't heard one of your favorite quotes, Chuck, tonight, but there have been some dough-popping hits going on here tonight.
There's been some cracking and whacking out there. 3rd and 8. New Prairie now on top of Adams, 9-0 that game in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
Snap is handled. Bond goes upfield to the 45-yard line, and it'll be 4th down from there. By the way, Keith Miller in the game right now at quarterback for Northwood, so Nate Andrews able to get his 3rd stringer some varsity time.
Northwood throws for about 300 yards tonight, runs for another 100. That was just an exciting start they had to the ball game. A couple of turnovers in the ball game for Northridge and some short fields, but man, we saw some amazing catches in that first half.
So on 4th and 4, Miller bleeds the play clock as much as he can, gives it off to Bond, and Bond's got the 1st down up to the 37-yard line, and that should just about do it from Intera Field. Northwood does not have to run another play. And the Panthers, I believe, will let the play clock die down and celebrate win number 4 of the year. Both of these teams now 4-2 on the season. Northwood goes to 3-1 in Northern Lakes Conference play as Nate Andrews and the Black Crunch celebrate a 42-8 victory over the Northridge Raiders. And Northwood gets the title of King of the North for 2021. Stick around. Our Bethel University at Napanee Missionary Church post-game show is next on the 46 Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by
Back at Intera Field, Chuck Freeby, Bob Nagel, Bo Hunt, 42-8 the final. Northwood defeating Northridge tonight in this Northern Lakes Conference tussle. Chuck and Bob high above the fray here in the press box. An impressive performance by the Northwood Panthers, especially after losing their starting quarterback midway through the game.
Right, and these type of games haven't happened often in this series, especially recently between Northwood and Northridge. But tonight it was totally a case of field position early, turnovers early, big pass plays for Northridge. They did a great job. That's one of the reasons they were able to pull away and get up by 35 at halftime.
But any quarterback's going to look good when they have that receiving core to throw to, and one of the top men of that receiving core is standing by with Bo Hunt in our Player of the Game feature.
Standing by with our Player of the Game, J.J. Payne. First off, congratulations on this huge victory against a rival.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You guys come in here tonight. Normally, you guys, throughout the years, a running team, but you guys just threw the ball. You, including one of the receivers, and the other receivers really came up big tonight.
Yep. Yeah, I just want to give so much credit to our line. They do such a good job in practice every day blocking for us. And the reason their blocks allow us to throw the ball out on the perimeter more. So I just want to thank them and our coaches too, especially. They put so much time and effort in that goes unseen on the field. So there's just so much more behind it than just what happens on the field.
You guys didn't seem to lose a beat. Caden Lone gets knocked out. Raider comes in there, but you guys just didn't seem to lose a beat on that.
Yeah, so that's kind of our mentality. I mean, it's just got to be the next man up. So Raider was ready once Lone got out, and he did a great job. We were proud of him.
Big showdown next week with Mishawaka.
Yeah, they'll be a very tough team, but I think we'll be ready for them.
I know you want to give a shout out to your grandpa.
Yeah, I do.
Back to you guys.
Well, going to be a fascinating Northern Lakes Conference race to watch as both Concord and Warsaw State unbeaten in the conference. But this Northwood team showing that maybe they can surprise some people, not only in the NLC, but in the postseason as well.
Well, as you were talking about during the week with our research on Northwood, they have 2 losses, one in overtime and one by a few points to a ranked team. So is this team really closer to being 6-0? I think so. And had they had a little bit more experience, a little bit more in the line early, they might be undefeated. And if they were, they'd be in the top 5. And since they're not, that's okay with the head coach. And I think they're moving in the right direction. And the great thing is they've already qualified for the playoffs, as everybody does. And you can teach and coach and be patient, and I think they're doing that.
And if Northridge can get some people healthy, maybe Chad Epley's team can get back to the kind of groove they were in early in the season. That'll wrap it up from here at Enterra Field. Our thanks to our TV46 crew who helped bring you this one, led by our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and his usual cast of capable, quality men and women who help us out each and every Friday night. A reminder, college football on the radio tomorrow, Purdue and Illinois from the Big Ten at 3:30 on Pulse. And that's followed at 8 on 103.1 FM by Indiana and Western Kentucky. And then next Friday night, we'll go north of the border as the second-ranked Edwardsburg Eddies take on the Paw Paw Red Wolves from Leo Hoffman Field in Edwardsburg. We'll have it for you Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Now for my broadcast partners, the Hall of Famers, Bob Nagel and Bo Hunt, it's Chuck Freeby. Once again, Northwood, the King of the North, they beat Northridge 42-8. So long from the middle of Middlebury.